This is a tweet from Clown World. This is what Target in San Francisco looks like. Let's make this bigger and take a look at this. So for those that can't tell in the immediate, especially for those that are just listening, every single item in the Target is locked. You cannot take an object, shampoo, razors, hairspray, none of it.
It's all behind plexiglass and locked.
Yep, all behind plexiglass and locked.
Kind of creepy, huh?
This is cultural degradation. This is moral decay. And what we were talking about in the previous segment is, you know, the question of would a society be better if, would the United States be better if everybody was Christian? The actual simple way I'd put it is yes, but not in my view. And you guys probably disagree because of Christianity, but because of a shared moral foundation that rests on respecting each other and society.
I actually don't disagree with you. I mean, I have never felt like I am personally in charge of making everyone be religious, right? It works for me and it's an important part of making myself be a good person. But I think generally the point of having a shared value system is to have a strong society, right? And I don't think the government should make you go to church, but I do think that if you don't understand why our rules are set up, if you don't understand the shared social contract that we have that's based on these ideas, then you are very much likely to not participate in society in a way that is beneficial to your neighbors. I mean, if you look at this, it makes me think about those stories. Have you heard of those people who be like, when my grandparents went to the store, they would just like pay, and then someone would bring their groceries to their unlocked house and put them away for them. Like,
we'd leave our doors unlocked at night.
What are you talking about? I would never do that. I would never just let some but this is totally a different time. It's a time when we were a much stronger in shared morality.
Back then, everybody would meet at church on Sunday.
Yeah.
So if you broke into someone's house, are you nuts? You show up to church, they're going to turn at you and they're going to point their fingers at you. You're ostracized. So people were like, oh, I can't do that. I mean, that scares me. Like the negative consequences are massive. Now there's no gatherings. There's no day to spend with your family. So these people are like, why do I care if Target loses hairspray? And then the people at Target are like, the people who work there, I also don't care. And so then you get security guards, cops, and employees who are just like, we literally don't care. And the system starts to break.
It's not just the social contract too. I think it's a step further than that, because it's obviously the behavior. Like, look at that. That's incredibly eerie that we're at the point in our society that is a thing. It's also reality. Like, when you don't have a shared moral fabric, then you actually question what is reality. And that's where we are right now with all of these things on race, on sex and gender, on right and wrong, on what justice means. All of these things, we're actually asking these existential questions that were asked in a different way at the beginning of our country. Like, what is somebody's right? What is a basic individual right? What's the purpose of government? What is wrong? What is order? We're asking all of these questions that we haven't asked in over 250 years because we lost that moral fabric, because that was the thing that defined all of those terms, which allowed us to then build society on it.
I really think that it was this worship of money that creeped in with the Federal Reserve System and this obsession with banking that happened in like the 1500s, central banking and stuff. Because people, I see them worshiping money, and it's a misguided love or.
But if we taught the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not covet, right? Thou shalt not covet having more money.
Worship false gods.
Right.
But
like.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, go ahead.
There's so much value to having resources. That's an issue. It's not money. It's just, the ability to have resources.
I think a component of this is the loss of community. It's really easy to be like, you don't need government when you have charity. Well, yeah, if everybody are good, moral people who agree with each other, and then everybody's living and working, and one day they see a man whose house burned down and he's homeless, and they say, we got to help this guy. And they all pitch in. And the man shakes their hand, and then the next time a house burns down, that guy joins in to help too. Now, neighbors don't talk to each other. Nobody likes each other, and so it's all every man for himself, and they'll loot a grocery store. They don't care.
Right.
They don't know you.
And philanthropic participation, volunteer work has been declining rapidly for decades in America. So we say like, oh, well, we should have community, nonprofits or whatever intercede and help people. But like, who is running that? Who is prioritizing that? This is still a trend with a lot of fundraising, but typically women make a lot of the majority of philanthropic giving decisions, meaning they decide where their family's going to donate money. And that's a trend that because before women were in the workplace, they also led their families' efforts towards serving the community, right? Whether that be through the church, through nonprofits, whatever else. Like, we have let all of this go away because we also destroyed the structure that was holding it together.
Well, the issue is,
I think you're exactly correct.